Hey everybody, welcome to Andrea's Cocina. Today I'm making some sopa de albóndigas. Now this is a dish that I grew up eating in my household, and it is always so delicious, and it's perfect for this fall weather coming up. It's so weird because it's the middle of October and here in Texas it's still like 90 degrees outside, but Alright, so it's just 3 simple steps. So the first one is making the broth. The second one is preparing the meatballs. The third one is just putting it together and letting it all cook together. So for the broth, what you're gonna need is the chicken broth, tomato sauce, tomatoes, the white onion. So let's go ahead and put in 1/4 full white onion and 4 Roma tomatoes, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of oregano, and a teaspoon of ground cumin, and just half a teaspoon of black pepper. That's probably good. All right, and add your can of tomato sauce. And last but not least, the chicken broth. Okay, and let's blend this up. Okay, perfect. Alrighty, so now we're gonna set this aside and work on the meatballs. Okay, so now for the meatballs, we are going to add our 1 pound of ground beef. And I always get the lean ground beef so that there's not a lot of fat in the caldo. You can always, of course, just scrape it off of the top whenever the meatballs are cooking. So you just scrape off that meat the fat that comes to the top. Okay, so I'm gonna add my white onion, my rice, cilantro, and egg, 1 egg. I'm gonna do half a teaspoon of black pepper and half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to heat up 1 pot. This is a, let's see, I always forget how many quarts. 6 quart. And I'm going to add a little bit of oil, just a little bit on the bottom, not much. And I'm going to mince 3 garlic cloves. Oh, I love that smell. It's probably the only reason I add this step, or I do this step, is so I can just smell the garlic. All right, you don't have to cook it too much, just a little bit. And then add in the broth. Okay. And we are going to add 4 cups of water to this. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add in the meatballs very carefully. Whoops. All right, and I'm going to bring that to a simmer and let it cook for about 15 minutes. And the way to tell if it's fully cooked, you are going to check your meatball, and it has to be at least 165 inside of your meatball. All right, perfect. Okay, so now we are going to add the veggies. I'm gonna start out with some potatoes. Oof. He thought that was funny. And then some carrots. And since these take a little bit longer to cook than the squash does, I'm gonna let these cook for a little bit. 1 little potato. All right, I'm gonna let that cook for about 10 minutes and then we'll check to see where it's at. Okay guys, so after around 15 minutes of letting those cook, I'm going to go ahead and add in the calabaza. And I'm going to also go ahead and add some cilantro. I'm just going to rip some into here. And we're going to let this simmer for another 10 to 15 minutes. Alright guys, so here is your meatball soup, or sopa de albóndigas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Okay guys, before you go, let's do a taste test. Oh, that's good. Of course, at the end, always taste it for salt and add a little more if you need to. This is good. Perfect.